Hi everyone. The book that I'm going to talk about today is Knuffle Bunny Free by Mo Willem. It is a sequel book. So the first book we find that this little girl is almost a baby and she's not able to talk yet, and she loves this bunny, and she loses it at the laundromat and she's so scared because she can't find it. They go back and they find the bunny. So in the second book, this little girl is a few years older and she is traveling, and it shows her getting on an airplane and going to her next destination to visit her grandparents, but she leaves the bunny on the airplane. And this one is a story of growth. So it's showing how she's able to process how she feels and think about all the wonderful things and all the wonderful adventures that Knuffle Bunny is going to go on with other children, because the airplane is taking it all over the world. And so she comes to accept that maybe it's time for Knuffle Bunny to have more adventures with other children. Following her trip, she gets back on the airplane and her Knuffle Bunny is there. And she's very excited, but then she hears a baby crying. And she decides that that baby should be just as happy as she was when she was little. And she gives the baby her Knuffle Bunny. So in this story, I loved how it has a continuation. So at the beginning of the school year, I read Knuffle Bunny to my kids, and it talks about her and her ways of communicating to her parents without actually saying words. She's able to communicate that she's lost her bunny. And then towards the end of the year, when the kids are a little bit older and they're going into kindergarten or they're going into first grade, we can read the second book and we can talk about how she grew up and how she got older and what's changed for her. I love how Mo Willems is able to relate what he does and how he writes to children. Like, all of the language in the book is something that a child could read. And even if it's in pre-K or kindergarten or first grade, the students can also do something called a picture walk. I love doing picture walks with kids it's a pre-reading skill. So they would get the book and they would flip through the pictures and tell me the story just by looking at it. And this is an amazing example of a book that you can just open it and look at the pictures and you know exactly what's happening because they're so detailed and it's amazing. Something else that I really liked about this book is I usually teach international, and the relatable thing about the story is that this little girl, it shows her process of going to the airport and getting on an airplane, and she's reading and she's sleeping and she's playing with her bunny and she's going to visit this amazing place. And a lot of my kids, that's the case. They're very well traveled. I found that students in other countries tend to be a little more well traveled if they're attending private school than in America, because America's so big. So kids tend to stay relatively in the same place. So I found that this would be very, very good book for working with my international kids. Now, as for a comparison book, this is a Mo Willems book. It's extremely popular. But his popular books are more Don't Let the Pigeon Drive the Bus and the Elephant and Piggy books. Now, this is a piggy book, or Elephant and Piggy, and it has a very different style of writing. Now, the fun thing about these books is that they show the importance of a speech bubble, and it shows you who's talking and what they're saying, and it shows that dialogue between two characters. So it's a lot crazier. It's kind of like a comic strip, but it has just a fun little lesson in there for students. So it's saying that it's like using your imagination and pretending you're a frog, and you have the friend that's like, no, you're not a frog. And it's just a really fun type of book. He has a ton of these. So this one is more of a serious lesson, get down and read it book, and really you can make 7 lesson plans based on this book. And then on this one, this is just a really fun read to have with your class that the students can also read themselves after a little while, because of the simplistic language and the pictures in it. So those are my books, and that was my analysis. So thank you so much. Bye.